Hello, and we will see if anyone's going to join us. I'll give you a few more minutes to jump online. I don't know if you can hear, we've got some birds in the roof, so if anybody has any recommendations of how to get them out of my roof, then please do let me know as well. That would be good. Um, so today we're going to be talking to you a little bit about diabetes, and in particular type 2 diabetes. I'd like to say thank you to Homiped for allowing us to put these education sessions on. If you haven't seen, we've done a couple of sessions the last couple of weeks. We've done one on plantar fasciitis, we've done one on bunions. So if you have something like that, or you've got friends and family who have something like that, then send them along to the Homiped webpage or the Facebook page, and there's some videos down there discussing that as well. But as I said, today we're going to be discussing the topic of diabetes, and specifically type 2 diabetes. I am going to, as I have done with the others, I'm going to take a generic viewpoint on this, because it is a very individualized process, diabetes. So, and again, what Homiped have allowed us to do, if there's anything that you're wanting more information on, or we don't actually go through in this topic, we do have the ability to book an online appointment with us. It's a free consultation that Homiped have put on for us. You'll find the link is in the chat page, or actually on the Facebook page for Homiped. If you click on that, it will take you to a booking page, and then you can organise a time and a date which is convenient for you, and I will jump on and give you a more individualised assessment, or one-on-one discussion around potential issues that you're having. Now, why is diabetes or type 2 diabetes an important factor that relates to the health of your feet? To understand that, we need to have an understanding of why we potentially develop diabetes in the first place. And it all comes down to well, it comes to a lot of things, but body composition is one of those. We have a level of muscle in our body, we have a level of fat in our body, and when we're younger, those two systems kind of work together, and there's a level of balance. As we get older, we tend to lose a little bit of muscle, and sometimes we put on a little bit of weight as well, and that can create an imbalance. And when we get that level of imbalance, when we take food into our mouths, and we try and convert it into energy, it's not as efficient as we would once liked. So we get an increased amount of sugar or glucose in the bloodstream, and that can have an impact on nerves, and it can have an impact on circulation. So with circulation, if there's an increased amount of sugar in your system, it causes the arteries, the walls, to become slightly hardened. They become less elastic, so that the blood doesn't get around as efficiently as it should do. You can form plaques which cause blockages, so that again the circulation just doesn't get around as well as we would like. And your feet are the furthest thing away from your heart, so sometimes it can be quite difficult for the blood to get down and to get back up. Running along those arteries as well are nerves, and they're pretty needy little things. They love oxygen, and if the circulation isn't as good as it could be, the nerves, they don't get the amount of oxygen as they require as well. If you couple that with the increased amounts of sugar in your bloodstream, that interacts with the nerves as well, and it kind of causes them to almost unravel and expose themselves, which creates sometimes potentially a level of damage. Now, that's something that doesn't happen overnight. It's something that happens over a long period of time, of somebody having uncontrolled diabetes, so high blood sugar levels for a long period of time. Now, none of this is aimed at trying to frighten you and thinking, oh wow, I'm going to have this, this is an issue that's going to happen to me. It's something that we need to have an awareness around. And with that, I would recommend that if you don't want to jump online and speak to me, you should definitely engage with your GP. You should be talking to his podiatrist or their podiatrist, and having at least an annual foot check. making sure that we're having a check on your vascular system to see if the circulation is working as well as it should do, and your neurological system to see if the nerves are doing what they should be doing as well. Why that is important, because if you think of your feet, I don't, and I can't really ask a question here, but how many of you look underneath your feet? I don't check underneath my feet. I rely on my sensation. So if I'm walking around and I stand on something sharp, I stood on my daughter's Lego not so long ago and was not too happy about that. If I have a stone in my shoe, or if I cut my foot or anything like that, there's a level of pain, of discomfort with it. That enables me to understand that something's not right. And then I know I have a look at it and see what's going on. Now, if that protective mechanism through the nerves is not there, and you are walking, you've got a new pair of shoes on, you've got a stone in your shoe or something like that, and it's rubbing and there's no pain, you're unaware of it. If you're unaware of it, you don't look after it. And if you don't look after it and the circulation isn't getting around as well as it should do, that's when you're at risk of potentially developing complications. There's a risk of increased infection, there's a risk of developing ulcerations and more severe complications, which I'm sure you're probably all aware of. Again, I can't stress enough to you, I'm not saying anything like that is going to happen, but it's something that we should all be aware of if you have a level of diabetes. Trying to control your blood sugar levels is increasingly important. And we've shown that lifestyle factors can definitely have an impact on that. At the moment, there's no real cure for diabetes. We can maintain it with medication, but lifestyle factors are incredibly important. Exercise is really key in this area. And that's why I mentioned before about potentially talking to your GP and engaging with either a physio or an exercise physiologist as well, and seeing what they can do to help you with that. Doing that level of exercise though brings me to shoes. Making sure that you have the appropriate footwear for the activity that you would like to do is also increasingly important. If you have a bunion or clawed toes or some level of foot issue, if you put your feet into inappropriate footwear, and you do have a level of damage to the nerves or anything, then you put yourself at increased risk when you think you're doing something good. So making sure that you have the best shoes for your activity is incredibly important. That leads me to Homiped in terms of their website. They have a condition-based finder of footwear, and on there, if you do have diabetes, you can look at the link to it, and it will take you to a group of footwear that has been endorsed by the Australian Podiatry Association. And what that means is that they're recommended for people with diabetes. So they will have a wider, or be able to accommodate a wider foot. They'll have a deeper toe box. They have cushioning and support through the heel and through the arch. So that gives you a good level of support. As I said, my key takeaway for this is not to frighten anyone or think that there's going to be complications with diabetes, but if we don't keep our blood sugar levels under control, then you do expose yourself to a little bit more risk. So with that in mind, if you do have any further questions or answers or need further answers, and I haven't done them today, then please do look at booking for an online consultation, and I can take you through more of a one-on-one assessment and see where we're going from there. Hopefully that is all for you today. If there's any questions I haven't answered, I think I've gone through everything, then please do put them in the chat function, and if I don't get to them via this, I will get back to you personally on that as well. Okay, thank you everyone.